I'm Taylor Tannebaum, and this is my bracket. If you want to win with your friends and family, follow along with me. All right, let's get things started. Regional 1, Spokane. Okay, I'm rocking with UCLA to start things off because obviously we know how good they are, the #1 overall seed. An 8-9 game between Richmond and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech struggled over the last couple of weeks, but I'm going to advance the Jackets to the second round. Ole Miss, Ball State. Chirp, chirp, my friends in Indiana. Love that you made it here via the MAC, but I'm going to go with Coach Yo and Ole Miss advancing to the next round, if I can get this thing to tap. Come on, Rebs, come on now. All right, Baylor, Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon has been a great story, but I'm going with the Bears at home in Waco, moving on to the second round. Moving on in the lower quadrant, I went to Florida State, so you know I'm rocking with the Florida State Seminoles moving on to the second round. LSU, San Diego State, we're calling Baton Rouge. We're going Tigers advancing to the second round as well. Michigan State, Harvard, a very popular upset pick coming out of the Ivy with Harmony Turner. And I'm going to go with the popularity contest. I'm moving Harvard along to the second round, deservedly so. NC State, the 2 seed in this region. I'm going with Wes Moore and his Wolfpack. The way they have developed throughout the season, I think continues into March Madness, especially after last year's Final Four run. Okay. Regional 4 in Spokane, continuing on. Trojans, Juju, give me all of that every night of the week. Cal and Mississippi State in an 8-9 game. The Golden Bears can shoot the 3 as good as anybody really in the country. Both of these teams love to turn the basketball over, but I'm going to go with Sharman Smith's squad, moving on for a battle there in California in the second round. K-State, Fairfield. I'm going to go with K-State, depending on their health situation, but I think they have enough, certainly, to get out of the first round. Kentucky and Liberty, go Cats. Kenny Brooks, what he has been able to do in Lexington in year 1 with his point guard, basically his other half, Georgia Amor, they move on as well. Keeping it rolling. Iowa, Murray State. Some will tell you the 11 will beat the 6 because Caitlin Clark's not there anymore, but I still think Iowa gets it done to move on. Oklahoma, Florida Gulf Coast University. I'm going Sooners, led by the bodies that they have there, and they are also at home in Norman, so I'm going to give them that edge. I am actually going to go with an upset here between 7 and 10. South Dakota State moving on to the next round. Their opponent you don't want to see in your bracket if you are that 7 seed, and UConn, Ark State. I think UConn's going to be a force to be reckoned with. We didn't count on them last year. Maybe we shouldn't count them out this year, so I'm going to go with the Huskies. Okay, now Regional 2 in Birmingham, South Carolina. I don't even need to explain this. We'll get to that later in the bracket. We are advancing Don Staley's team. 8-9 game between Utah, Indiana. Let's go Hoosiers, moving them on as well. This will be a good game, but I'm rocking with the Tide. So roll Tide on to the next round. Norfolk State, Diamond Johnson. So much fun to watch. Maryland, I know they've dealt with injuries this year, but I'm going Terps to the next round. Keep it rolling. We got 1 Ivy in, so we're going to keep it at that number. Carolina, I think, is going to be just fine. A couple of weeks off after the ACC tournament is going to bode well for them. Alyssa Usby and Renee Kelly. I love Vanderbilt in this one. We do not give them enough credit. Camille Pierce, Michaela Blakes, and Duke. Coach Muffet McGraw always says it's more fun to go get a tooth drilled at the dentist than playing that Duke defense. So let's rock with the Blue Devils. Texas, self-explanatory here. I'm going to go Creighton. They shoot the 3 ball. That's good in an NCAA tournament, so rock with that. Tennessee, Kim Caldwell doing their thing this year. How much fun it's been to watch the Vols. And I'm going to go Cody McMahon and company to the second round as well. All right. Now we're in Regional 3. I'm actually going to stick with Michigan here. I know they're young, but I think sometimes you don't know what you don't know, so move them on. Notre Dame, they're going to get back to that December, January, early February form. You'll see how far they go. I'm going Louisville and Jeff Walls. We trust. TCU advancing as well, because that's going to set up a fun little matchup right there. All right, now let's advance to the Sweet 16. I'm going UCLA. Just 2 dominant Jackets had an outstanding season, but they're moving on. I'm going to actually go with the Baylor Bears here again at home in Waco. They move on to the Sweet 16. I told you, I'm a Florida State Seminole. I think Tanaya Latson, who doesn't get talked about enough, leading scorer in the entire country, KK Timpson inside going up against the talent LSU has. This could be one of the best games of the tournament, but I got to be a little bit of a homer. I have to go with the Noles, and I think for Harvard, what an outstanding season, but State moving on for an all-ACC Sweet 16. All right, USC advances. We're going Southern Cal over NorCal there. I think Kentucky continues to move on. Kenny Brooks, Georgia Amore did this a couple of years ago at Virginia Tech, making a Final Four run. I think they can continue to lead this Cats team. I think Oklahoma, just too much for Iowa here. And UConn, like I said, give the Huskies a little bit of credit. Paige Becker, she is Showtime. All right, where are we at now? All right, we're going to the Sweet 16 on the other side of the bracket. South Carolina and their depth, the bench advancing. I'm going Alabama here with the 5-4 upset. All right, so I'm going to put that there, and we'll see what happens in this one. I'm going to go Carolina. Battle of some great defenses, but I think Carolina is going to make a heck of a run in this tournament. And why not a little rivalry action? Love what Vandy has done, but we're going to set that up in the Sweet 16. All right, Texas and Creighton. Love that Creighton got this far, but Madison Booker, Vic Schaefer's squad are advancing. Ohio State, Tennessee. I'm still going to say Coach Caldwell, they're going to move on. A lot of orange in this matchup. Notre Dame, again, the team we saw late in the season is not the team that's showing up in March Madness, so they're going to the Sweet 16, and I love this matchup because it's HVL against her former team in Louisville. I think Haley Van Lith is a new version of herself. TCU going on to face the Irish. To the Elite Eight, UCLA. Yes, I think NC State's going to continue their run. The post play going to be critical in this one. Young post play for NC State, a veteran in KK Timpson in that one. I'm going USC. Kentucky's road ends here. They advance as well, and we're keeping on with UConn here. All right, I already have this advancing here, but South Carolina moves on, beating Alabama, their SEC foe, in an ACC on ACC matchup. They've never met, like I said, in the NCAA tournament, but I actually think they split in the regular season. It's going to be Carolina, though, winning the tiebreaker and moving on to the Elite Eight, which would be massive. In this all-orange bowl here, I'm going Texas. Just too much to handle. And again, Notre Dame with Olivia Miles, Hannah Hidalgo, Sony Citron, the rest of the game, Leah King holding down the paint. They go on to face Texas again. We already saw that earlier this season. All right, moving on here. 1 and 2. We got a little bit of chalk in this one. I am going to go UCLA. Lauren Betts, I talked about the post play. I think she's going to be better than what NC State has to offer this year because they are young. And in this Elite Eight rematch, we're going all Cali again here in the Final Four. Love it. Crosstown little rivalry action. Again, more rivalry action. What more could you ask for? Dawn Staley, like they always do, moving on to the Final Four. And I am continuing to rock with Notre Dame. Irish, looking like they did earlier in the season. I think they go to the Final Four like we all expected early in the season. So here you have my Final Four, maybe a little bit different than a lot of people at home. I'm going to advance. Juju and USC, because I just think when the lights are the brightest, the superstar is going to show up like she has all season on this side. We're going to continue to ride that fighting Irish train. So it'll be 1 and 3 facing off in the national championship. Notre Dame did win this one earlier in the season. We'll see what happens in the rematch. My champion, though, USC, when it's all said and done. A 1 seed runs the table, and they're all the way out in LA.